Howdy, y'all. Welcome to the Illuminati broadcast. I'm your host, David Moore. Welcome. I'm your Messiah, David Moore. Nice to meet you. I'm your King David. What's up? Yes, I'm the Jewish Messiah. I'm not Mahdi. I'm the Muslim Messiah. I'm the Christian Messiah, the Catholic one. Let's go. I'm all of them. All the above. I'm your Antichrist. I'm your false prophet. I'm all the above. Let's go. I'm one and the same. Alrighty. So we love our Book of the Dead right here. We love our Key of Solomon. We love our Quran. We love our Bible. We love that it's made in one form. So this would be the mark of the beast and the image of the beast. I made another little diagram, like a deciphering key to help you understand it better. So here we go. This is the key that you use to decipher. Here we go. Kind of cool, right? All right, so let's kind of go over this real quick. What do we have? Saturn in the middle, Mercury, Venus, the Sun, Mars, the Moon, Jupiter. Then we have all the Earth signs for Mercury, all the water signs for Jupiter and the Moon, all the fire signs for the Sun and Mars, and all the air signs are with Venus. And then you go out and we have our traditional zodiac and the planets associated with them. Obviously, we have Saturn here, Jupiter, and then Jupiter for Aquarius, because remember, Aquarius is the cupbearer for Zeus, which is Jupiter. And Zeus is also known as Hey Zeus, Jesus. And then we have Pisces with Saturn, because a lot of the time we see Noah's flood that was used to cleanse the earth, so that has a lot of death personification. And Saturn has that, judgment effect. We have Mars and Aries at the north after this one, and it's still at the south, so it lets you know that there's this like polarity that the south pulls to the north. Yeah. So let's kind of go through this real quick. I think I also was going over Genesis and how it works, but yeah, let's see what we got real quick. On the chart, so yeah, we have Saturn in the middle. Remember, Mercury, Venus, the Sun, Mars, the Moon, Jupiter, and then all the rest of the signs that rotate around it. Yeah, this key is pretty cool, right? It helps decipher it. So this would be the mark of the beast, and this would be the image of the beast, because this helps you mark out everything, and this is like the image. This lets you play the game. Yeah, so what is today? February 14th. So this is Aquarius. This is February. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And this would be 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. So this would be like the spirits of number 16. So Eligos and Zephyr, 15 and 16 from the Ars Goetia. But February 14th, and the 14th spirit is Larahi, and he's a Marquise. And he looks like Robin Hood and Cupid. But these guys also have the power of Cupid. So in a sense, Cupid isn't just one angel. There's not just one Cupid. There's probably like 3 of them. And they go around, maybe 4 of them. And they go around bringing love to the world. And I think actually 13 is Byleth. And you need to put him in the triangle. But he has this really strong power to cause love. Oh, that makes a lot of sense. Okay, so we have this king that causes love. Then we have his Cupid, and then we have these 2 angels, Zephyr winds, that go around and do their bidding, which is really interesting to see Greek mythology and Egyptian mythology and Jewish mythology all wrapped up in one, knowing that they all are connected. Yeah, I guess this is Atlantis. It's sunk and now it's back up. What's up? All right, so yeah, let's go over the Genesis thing real quick. All right. So we figured out a little bit that in some Jewish in the Egyptian Book of the Dead, this guy's going like this with the boat over his head, and there's a sun on top of his head, right? So he's holding up the sun. But if you look and we're to turn him like this is what we're doing. We're like looking at the sun, it's up here, but there's this polarity that goes north and south, or south and north, goes back and forth, and the sun's rotating. But that's north, so it would be pointing that way. But you can see these spirits like traversing. I wish I could show you the image, but I don't know how to like put it up on here. Yeah, so let's see the story real quick. And God said, "Let the earth sprout vegetation, seed yielding herbs and fruit trees, producing fruit according to its kind, in which the seed is found on the earth." And it was so. Um, yeah, so this is the sprout, right? Because this is gonna be like the leaf, the little sprout that pops up. Even in Aries, the Aries sign is a little sprout, and then this is that too. Um, so that's that green energy. So it lets you know this is the beginning part, and then this is gonna be the trees because these are represented by wands or clubs, and those are like those three circles with a line, right? And then this one is the spade, that leaf, the sprout. And it was evening and it was morning, a third day. So it just lets you know that this is the morning, this is the daytime, and this is the evening. So you got Adam, which is a day, and then you have Eve, which is the evening, right? So the masculine and feminine, you have the sun and the moon. So God, essentially, he created the sun and the moon first. In my interpretations, I would say Adam was the first form that God took, and then he split himself again, and he was like, okay, now there's a day and there's an Eve, like there's the masculine and the feminine, and those two parts were still of God, and even the serpent was still of God, and the serpent is basically an angel. And God said, "Let there be luminaries in the expanse of the heavens to separate between the day and the night, and they shall be for signs and for appointed seasons and for days and years." Signs, you know, he ate of the tree of good and evil. Like, then he realized that he could make more of himself, right? He's like, oh, I can make more of myself and fill this whole earth with good things because I'm good. God is good. He makes a lot, you know. So don't feel bad that you exist on this earth. You belong here, and if you're somebody that lives on this earth but doesn't worship me, then you don't belong, right? And that can be a sad thing, but we can't feel sorry for you. We just got to move on, and you know, if you get left behind and the lions eat you, that's on your own. And God placed them in the expanse of the heavens to shed light upon the earth. So while we're talking about this firmament idea, you know, God, we're holding up the sun. It's rotating over our heads. There's this pole in between us, and the moon and the sun are rotating around it. But the moon isn't. It's a reflection of the North and the South Pole. So the sun's moving. And another cool, interesting thing is we're inside of a sun. We're inside of a sun. And we're on the inside of it, walking up and down. So going from the South Pole to the equator to the North Pole, right? And in the center of that sun, of our sun that we're living inside of our Earth, there's another sun rotating because it's being pressurized by all the heat out here, the outer sun, and it's hitting the inner sun. And that's why, like, it needs to rest in some areas, and then it heats up in other areas, and then rests, and then heats up, and then rests, and then heats up, and heats up, rest, and it keeps rotating it. And even in Egyptian, like the Book of the Dead, they'll show you examples of that, what it looks like. Okay, so it's a lot different than what NASA tells you, right? And God said, "Let the water swarm, a swarm of living creatures, and let fowl fly over the earth across the expanse of the heavens." So this is where that is happening. So if we go from here, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. Wait, let me do that again. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. Yeah, so on verse 20, and God said, "Let the waters swarming of living creatures, and let fowl fly over the earth across the expanse of the heavens." This is the lion's gate. This lets you know that God created animals, right? And then you have this water. So this lets you know that he started creating all these creatures in the water as well. He said, "Be fruitful and multiply, fill the waters of the seas, let the fowl multiply upon the earth." So this is the fowl, and they're multiplying here on the earth. And it was evening, it was the morning, a fifth day, and God said, "Let the earth bring forth living creatures according to their kind, cattle, creeping things, and beasts of the earth according to their kind." Taurus is up here and right here. Yeah, which is pretty cool. But right here we have these earth symbology right here. So this is Virgo. "Behold, I have given you every seed-bearing herb which is upon the surface of the entire earth, and every tree that has seed-bearing fruit, it will be yours for food, and all the beasts of the earth and the fowl of the heavens." is good to eat. And God saw that he made, and it was good. And the next day, blah, blah, blah. So that's 31 verses. That's this whole chapter right here, okay? So you can, like, interpret it with this. And it's like a puzzle that helps you put together this image of what God created, what the Bible and the Torah are presenting. So you can use these two. This is basically what you use to learn the formula. This is the image board. And then you take it with all this information that you get and you interpret it in your own way using these. But it has a very simple foundation, right? Air, fire, water, earth, north, east, south, west. And then you have your planets, and then you can connect the dots and make things make sense. So when you're like doing things like rituals or formulas, you understand the meaning behind it, right? So you're not just lost, or you're not just pretending that you know what's going on. Now the heavens and the earth were completed in all their hosts. So that means God created everything, right? And God completed on the seventh day his work, blah, blah, blah. And God blessed the seventh day, okay. They're the generations of the earth, blah, blah, blah. A mist ascended from the earth and watered the entire surface of the ground. You can see that with this. Kind of get this mist effect with the air and the water covering everything, even the ground up here. Yeah, there's a lot of cool information. Like, you could read this whole chapter and it'll play out on here. It is my bone, my flesh, whatever. They were both naked, and the man and his wife, but they were not ashamed. Yeah, so when we first existed, we were like, oh, no biggie. But then, we start developing a conscience. We start developing ideas and like what is good for us, what is right for us. And God gives us that freedom because God has that. God has free will. I have free will. If I'm your Messiah, I have free will. I can choose how I want to present myself. I can choose what I want to do. I can choose, and so can you. But there comes a point where it's like we have to unite. And if we can't unite, then, I'm just going to destroy everything that doesn't unite with me. And I'm going to keep going forward with my unity. And the serpent said to the woman, you surely will not die, knowing good and evil. She ate it. In Egyptian mythology, the first god, he's like blue. And he creates the heavens and the earth. He's like this sky expanse right here. And then there's this earth, which is Adam and Eve, right? So Eve, and then, God as Adam. And then he eats his own, seed, and he produces a woman and a man. And that's kind of what God does, right? He produced Adam and Eve. And so he's like, hey, guys, if you eat that tree, you're going to be just like me, and you're going to have to keep creating because I can't stop creating. I love to create. I love to see the world in action. And they're like, yeah, now they're part of it, and they love it too, but it's painful. And they're like, yeah, there's a lot of pain that goes into creating more of this world, but it's a beautiful thing, and it makes God happy because we're all together. We're not alone. And that part kind of scares me because I'm like, well, if I'm God, I'm the Messiah, and I have to destroy the earth and the world on it and all of humanity with my magic. And I'm doing this and I'm creating change, but then I'm like, do I keep going until there's nothing left? And I'm like, yeah, I got to keep going until there's nothing left, because eventually there's going to be people that are going to be like, wait a minute, that's King David. He's performing miracles. We want to be on his side and we want to help him so he can get the job done faster, healthier, happier, and we could save more lives that way, our own lives. We don't need to save everybody's life. We just need to save the followers, the believers. That's it, right? But there's going to be the non-believers, and they're going to keep interfering. So we got to be nice and being like, yeah, of course, come on, you can join, you can be part of this story. And then eventually we're like, they don't really want it, and you can kind of cut them off, and they'll realize they're not part of it. And then we'll get super strong and destroy them. But then that serpent is kind of like, the reproduction cycle, right? Because that's what men have, is serpents, and the women have caves, I guess. So I guess that pit, right? So then there's that reflection of man creating his own reflection, and the woman holds it and creates it anew again. That's why they have children, he's cursed to be on his belly and eat the dust, and that's what we do. We're always sleeping. We're the snakes. We're always sleeping on the ground. We always have to eat the dust of the earth, which is the food. It's a really cool thing. With the sweat of your face you shall eat bread until you return to the ground, for you are taken therefrom, for dust you are, and to dust you will return. So that means we are golems. We're walking earth, pieces of earth, right? And that's a beautiful thing, all right? That's a great thing. Feels good to be alive. It feels good to exist in this world God created. We're perfect. We're beautiful. We're really amazing. All right. But the people that go to hell, they aren't going to have any good things like this, all right? If you want to find out what it's like in hell, I'm sure there's a way you can find out. Just probably think about it, and you'll be there in no time. And if you don't think about it and you know you're going to go to hell because you're not following me, then that's fine too, because you're going to end up there anyways. And you can find out the hard way. Let's see. For dust you will return. The mother of all life is Eve. They made shirts. They want to live forever with the tree of life, till the soil once it has been taken. Okay. Some a little etymology, whatever it's called when you decipher a word. So golem, right? That's Adam and Eve. But it's also emet and meth, which means truth or life and death, right? And that's what that is. That's what the story of Genesis is. So people will call you a goyim or a golem. Don't think of that as a bad thing. Think of that as a good thing. Like, yeah, I'm strong. I'm a golem. I'm powerful. I remember I met somebody who was like, I get it. You're Ashkenazi. You're Jewish. And you probably think I'm a goyim. And I was like, I think you're a golem, but I think you're a cool one. I think you were born for a purpose. You know, like, that's awesome. We're all golems. There's another thing. Goons. Gooners. The Goonies. Let's talk about that. All right. A goon is a gremlin or a goblin, a troublemaker. What's a goon to a goblin? Nothing. A goon is worse than a goblin, right? So a goon is just like a troublemaker, a gremlin. And then what do you have? The Goonies? They're troublemakers. They're breaking the rules. They're doing things that their parents told them not to do, and they're experiencing life to the fullest. That's amazing. And then you have this new term, a gooner, which is created in a way to be like, yeah, I'm gooning around, like I'm just being a troublemaker, just doing my thing, living my life, you know. Sure, I might masturbate here and there, but I'm living my life, you know. That's a gooner. But there's a weird way that the Illuminati or the elites or the powers that be or society or celebrities or media or just people in general like to portray, you know, pop culture, this trend that like this gooner thing, like I'm gooning around, I'm gooning. They love that word now. Everybody wants to use it. And sure, it's going to burn out eventually and just be cringy. But I think the important thing is to see like those are really cool words and they have a really strong effect and they affect a large generation and they portray what's going on. Like a lot of people are just gooning. Like it's pretty crazy, right? But it's also letting us know where we're at in the chapter of God. Imagine if God found out you were a gooner. Like, I'm pretty sure he wouldn't like that, right? Like, he's like, are you a troublemaker? Like, he might like the fact that you're testing against, you know, society's norms. But then again, he's also like, but where's your heart at? Are you following the Messiah and you're saying that you believe in Jesus Christ, but you really don't? And the reason I know that a lot of people don't believe in God is because nobody believes in me, that I'm God. So then that means that nobody is really true. You're not real believers. You're not real followers of the Christian faith. You're not real Muslims. You're not real Jews. You're not real people. You're just fodder for the afterlife in the realm of hell. You want everybody to come back from the grave. You want miracles. You want signs. You want all these things, but you don't want to work for it. So it just doesn't make sense to me. So I'm trying to work that out. Be like, okay, how do I destroy you? No, not how do I destroy you. I already know how to do that. How do I reach out to the people that are believers, that are followers, that are faithful, that have trust in me and want to keep joining my army? How do I get those people together with me? And I'm like, you know what? I'll just give you guys all the answers. These are all answers. And whether you believe it or not, or you accept it or not, it's going to be a part of your life. You know why? Because this is trending. I trend. I used to be internet famous, used to be MySpace famous. Everything I do becomes a trend in an instant, a hit. Even when I was in school, I wasn't online. I still became a trendsetter. Every little thing I do, I would wear eyeliner. Everybody wears eyeliner. I wore tight pants. Everybody would wear tight pants. I would do fundraisers to get my school computers. And I got the Black Eyed Peas to play at my school. I could do anything. I used to just do all this crazy stuff. And it was so easy. Why? Because I have a good heart. I pray and I do what is right. I do what is, asked of me. And I do what is asked of myself. I ask myself, what do I want to do for myself? We don't have that generation now. You're gooners. You don't care about nothing, right? You just care about reproducing. You should be done with that. You don't need to reproduce. You need to follow God, and we need to go get things done, right? And then you can go be happy with whatever, you can be happy with that after. You're never going to make it now. No way. No. Like, if you have a lot of kids right now and you're doing all these things, my spell will turn your own kids against you. Trust and believe. This is all going to activate. This is already in motion. It's already activated. Imagine the Antichrist put a spell out to destroy humanity. I already did that. It's already happening. Imagine the Messiah put out a spell to conquer the earth and destroy all the fakers. Yeah, that's me. I already did that. It's already happening. It might look pleasant now because I put an illusion over it, so that way it helps me. So when I meet a faker, that they're just like, life is great, life is good, I'm getting everything I want, but they're deteriorating and they don't even realize it yet. Before it's gonna be too late by the time they realize, because they're gonna make things harder for us, right? They're just gonna be standing in our way, like, hey, I hope you don't believe in David as the Messiah, or like, hey, that's cringy, that's weird, don't do that. Like, they're gonna get in your way, right? But then you're just be like, out of my way, I have a job to do. I'm gonna go follow King David. I'm gonna go do what he needs me to do. I'm gonna go to him. I'm gonna worship him. I'm gonna show him that I'm his faithful, loyal believer, right? I'm his follower. I'm trying to teach you guys how to follow God, because I know how to follow God, and I need you to follow me, right? Because I'm God, so I know what's best, right? Let's comprehend these things. I feel like, do I have to say things a certain way? Do I have to educate you a certain way? I'm like, no. I just need to tell you how it got to be done, right? And it's not because I think that you need that. I'm doing it because I'm bored out of my mind. I'm like, I'm the Messiah, I'm God, and things are supposed to happen my way, but it's not, because you guys are so lazy. You guys are worse than donkeys. You guys are literally not doing nothing with your life. You're not trying. What I've been really proud of, though, lately with the Jewish community is that they're singing songs about the Messiah's return. They're like, the Messiah's here. He's not returning. He's here. He's King David. He's right here, and he needs us to find him. And we need you guys to hear the message and preach and preach and preach and find and find and find and find. You don't gotta find me anymore. I'm right here. I'm already admitting it. You could send it. You can make this viral. You could send it to people and be like, do you think he's the Messiah? Yes or no? Boom. Come join the Messiah. Boom. Let's work together to help King David. Boom. Let's ask him, how do we learn more? Boom. Let's get everybody together on the same page, right? We could make it a movement, a super huge movement. And I don't want to take too long. The faster we get this done, the better, because the elites, they don't care. They don't want to help us. I have to do magic on them to get them to help us. I'm like, okay, I'll just put a spell on Donald Trump. Okay, I'll put a spell on Jared Kushner. Okay, I'll put a spell on this person and that person, and have this happen and make them do what I want. But why do I have to do magic on them? Why do I have to do magic on my believers? Like, I should be able to be like, hey, come on, guys, let's get this done. Let's do some real magic where we affect the physical realm with our blood, sweat, and tears, and we make a real world. Like, we make our world holy and good and great and beautiful, and we help each other, and we kick out all the bad guys, right? All the people that don't believe in us, because we're going to be a movement, a unity, a form. We're going to be one castle. We're not going to be one piece that's shattered. We're going to be one piece that's whole, right? That's what we need. And it's that pendulum, right? You might get some things right, you might get some things wrong, but at the end of the day, you're still swinging. You're still making a difference in the world. That's what God wants, right? That's why when God's like, hey, I need Jerusalem. I need you guys to start doing wars. I need you to start making noises. I need you to start conquering lands. I need you to scare people, because they don't believe it. Hey, Donald Trump, go buy Iceland. Go buy Greenland. Go take over the world. Come on, make things happen. We need that Antichrist energy. We need that Messiah energy, or else they're going to get lazy and just going to take too long. It's not going to work. They don't care. The humans don't care. We got to elevate, right? And then the real followers, the real believers, they're going to notice. They're going to start climbing. They're going to help us. And we're all going to get together. We're going to start making differences. There's going to be a difference. It has to. It has to happen. It's impossible for it not to happen. There's no way anything can stop it. What I love about this, in Yu-Gi-Oh, when you play with the Mirror Wall or Mirror Force, it turns the attack back against the attacker. And there's also a spell in here in the Key of Solomon that's a triangle, Triforce, that bounces back the weapon. So if we have our enemies and they're like, King David's not the Messiah. Boom, they get struck down. If you're a follower, you're cringe. Boom, they get struck down. Oh, we can't do this. We can't do. Boom. No, we can, because we're real. We're really alive. We're real humans. We're real angels. We're really part of God. And me, King David, yeah, King David's the leader. He's our boss. He's what we worship. He's our living temple. We don't need to build a temple. We will build him a castle and a temple for him. We'll destroy all the old ones and move on with our lives. We can create a new world. We don't need all the same old things over and over again. Destroy all the old, bring in the new. We will create the new. We don't need you to create the new. We will create the new. So we're the new world order. We're the superpower. We're the strength. And it doesn't matter if nobody watches these videos. It doesn't matter if YouTube bans them or blocks them. Just the fact that I'm putting this out there, it's going to hit people's spirit. It's going to resonate inside their minds and in their dreams. Last night I had a beautiful dream. This Hispanic lady was praying, and she had her head against the floor in the bed, and she's like, God, 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 please help me. And I'm like, okay. And she turns and she's like, are you God? And I'm like, yeah. And she's like, what's your name? I'm like, David. And she's like, okay. And all her kids came around me because they felt safe. Isn't that incredible that I could have a dream like that? Dreams aren't just imaginary details. That imagination is our spirit. It's our heaven. It's all of us connected in one world. And it's showing me that there is people that can hear that prayer. When we pray, your friends can hear that prayer. Your enemies can hear that prayer. The person you're praying for can hear that prayer. That's why people attack your friends. That's why people attack you. They try to stop you. That's why people outside playing their music all loud, going crazy with their lives. Because they want to stop the world from happening. And they want to ignore it and hide. No, you can't do that. We got to live in this world. We have to do something about it, right? This is the Messiah movement. And I'm trying to encourage you, everyone and anyone that's willing to make a difference. And it will happen. It might take some time. It might take a little bit of trial and tribulation. It might take a little bit of questioning of oneself and others, but eventually you're going to get it, because I'm going to give you that power to accept the truth, to accept my power, to accept the fact that I'm your Lord. And you're going to be like, yeah, that's King David. He can't die. He's invincible. He's the ruler of this earth, and we need to obey him. So there we go. Another, that's synchronicities. Those are signs from God. Like, hey, King David's right. People want to stop me, but they're not going to. And there doesn't have to be violence. There doesn't. I use magic. That's my violence. I just put it out, the prayers in the world. Boom. It has an effect. You could do the same thing, but I suggest you do it with me. And not just spiritually, no, physically, face to face, asking me questions, participating with me in rituals, going out there, learning more about the world, playing games with me like Yu-Gi-Oh! Or board games. Just being able to do those things is like a prayer circle, right? When you have two people praying, you have this really huge power. That's what being an Alcoholics Anonymous teaches me. Yeah, I can have my defects, my character defects. I can have my illnesses. I can have what's wrong with me. But I'm not going to let it stop me. And there's a future for us. And if we take too long, your chances slip away. You could be the best person in the world, God's favorite person, and you'll just break apart and be nothing at the end of the day, because you're not following me. If you're not following me, then there's no point. Because if there's more than one of me, then we can conquer the earth, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. We can start creating, start living, start doing things. And I can't expect everyone to be able to do it. Like, there's gonna be homeless people, they can't do it. There's gonna be rich people, yeah, they can do it, but do they want to ruin their reputation? Doesn't matter. You got to join me, right? So it's like, what are you willing to sacrifice? Are you willing to sacrifice everything for me? And are you willing to keep what you have and bring it to me and let us work together on those projects and make something better out of it? There's so many different things. I went to school for business and finance. I'm pretty intelligent. I mean, hey, I figured this all out on my own. But I used a lot of resources. I used YouTube. I used the internet. I used the library. I used text. I used people too to help me understand and decipher these things. And then I put it all together, and look how beautiful it came out. The tabernacle is real. This is the tabernacle. God created this for a reason, so we can have a future, right? And I can talk about myself in past tense, future tense, and how I want, because I'm still that same God. And no matter what, in the future or in the past, I'm always going to be the beginning and the end. So if you're a believer, like, subscribe, comment. Let's hang out. Tell me what you think, and let's just work out from there. All right. Catch you later. Bye.